Okay. Before we start, Steve is dying over here. So don't expect him to talk very much. He's got the flu real bad.
This is why we're all sitting so close to him.
We love it.
We want excuses to get out of class.
Work. Okay. Right.
Great.
There we go.
What's the question?
So the question is, what is deep culture and how is the concept different from the definitions of culture that are too broad or too simplistic?
Good question.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not hard to answer. She gives it to us right here in the introduction.
That's good. Well, I think like
You good?
the general definition of culture to us is just like by like define where we're from and who you are. That's like the general knowledge of.
So I think that's not so much the deep one,
Yeah.
so it's good to have that sort of.
But with this article, it's like it talks about like the deep culture, and for my understanding, is like, because in the article it gives like a lot of examples, and I kind of like related to myself, like me from the island come here in America is like a whole different culture, and I have like a whole new perspective too with everything around me. And I like the example of that guy that like he stick by his culture and then he moved and then he like judge people because they do different things because that's his mindset. Like he's different from other people, and without knowing like deep culture is like for me, like if I seen other someone like do the same thing and we come here, we have the same mindset of like, oh, this is what makes us different from these people. And like for us, like we don't know like that's deep culture because we feel like, oh, it's the same thing, like it's just the way we brought up. But seriously, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to you guys.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I'm taking an intercultural communications class.
Oh.
And it's really fun. It's really interesting because we talk a lot about this stuff and a lot about what it means and what is culture and what's identity and how does that work. And I really like that, this talks about how deep culture is something that we don't really notice in ourselves,
It's really hard to notice in ourselves.
And we talked about that in my other classes, like being aware of other people's cultures is really just being aware of the differences in how you live. And it's kind of cool to see that, you know, like everybody has their own thing and they do their own stuff.
Yeah.
I think like in the first part it says deep culture seems to me to be the core of understanding intercultural experiences. And like you said, like being here is like a way how we can understand for ourselves deep culture. I'm kind of the same. Like even though it's not as hard, like different, but like it is different. Like coming from New Zealand here, even like we speak English, and there are some stuff that we still do the same. There are also like the stuff that are so much different, and it's kind of like cool that how I can adapt to this as well. It kind of talks about that, like working as like being where you're from or wherever, going to another place, experiencing that, but also adapting to it or putting kind of your flair on things. It's kind of, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. I mean, culture changes. In the United States, it changes with every state. It's just with every town almost. Sometimes every town. So culture, deep culture, is how we experience these little towns or I mean, Laie is tiny. Or a big city like Honolulu. Or if we were to go to New Zealand, I don't know, Auckland, it's a big city. But every time we go just a few miles down the road, culture changes. And we need to get our deep culture and figure out how to deal with it. It's not always the easiest. I mean, there was one time we were in Alabama. We were in a small town in northern Alabama, and we were at a Cracker Barrel. You find them all over the United States. But
It's a restaurant.
yeah, it's a restaurant. But the waitress, she asked us why we were in Alabama. And we're like, oh, well, we're here to see the time we could still say Mormon. So we're here to see the Mormon temple. And she looked at us and she's like, so you're Mormons? We're like, yeah. She didn't talk to us the rest of the time. So there's an old guy, we were walking out and we're like, is there something wrong with Mormons around here? It's like, oh, we just don't like them. But like when you get to Birmingham, where the temple is, they love us. Like, what the heck? It's very weird. It just changes every second. Every second you drive on the road, something will change. Or every second you fly on a plane to a new place. And that's okay. Just love it. Have fun with it. Bless you. Twice.
Thank you.
I think I just found this picture online,
Oh
and it
yeah.
gives
That's a good one.
some example of what is
Uh-huh.
deep culture. Just like some body language, and also I like how it says the personal space.
That's
Like
huge.
when I remember when I first came here, we had what's the class? The first class we need to
Is
take.
it 201?
So we talk about the culture shock,
Mhm.
and we talk about a little bit of deep culture.
That's super funny.
I like that.
I like that picture.
Yeah.
Because you see the surface culture and everything on it, like food, flags, festivals, fashions, and holidays. These are like the things that we can tell like you're from America.
Yeah, like you wear this,
Yeah, 'cause you wear
or
that.
you celebrate that,
And you speak the language,
Mhm.
you know. And then deep culture is like going in depth.
It's not so much just an appearance.
Yeah,
it's more.
it's really hard
Yeah,
to-
seeing the inner person, like your
Yeah.
how
That's
you
super
act.
cool. And it's really true. I don't know. When my sister, she served her mission in Mexico,
Oh,
Mexico City,
ooh,
And-
double O.
she loved it.
Oh, that's
And
good.
in that culture, you talk really like there's no personal space.
Mhm.
Like you're always next to each other, and
That's
so
weird.
she'd come home, she'd be talking to us, and she'd be like really close. Like,
That's crazy.
and like even though we're family, it's
Yeah,
still
that's
kind of weird being this close to each other, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of the same for New Zealanders, like especially like Māori. When we greet each other, we always like kiss each other on the cheek.
Uh-huh.
Like that's a natural thing for us to do. And so when there's people around that's like not from our culture, like that was weird. Like they're random. Even if we don't know them, that's just our way of greeting, and just like kind of like,
shows that you're
like,
open
hello.
and friendly.
Yeah, that's just how we are. We always just do it that sort of way. And so like. I guess that's a little more of a surface culture, but it's also a deep culture. It's kind of like more connecting with others. It's like our way.
It is.
Yeah, it's that way in Argentina too. I served my mission in
yeah.
Argentina, and so every time they like you kiss each other's cheeks, even
Yeah.
if
Like the
First you
French,
know each
huh?
other.
like
Yeah.
French. Asians or that.
Church office building, we didn't care about personal space. That was a fun, and we had a dog, so that was the best
Yeah.
part.
there we go.
That's like how many missions get dogs. Like that just adds to the culture. It's crazy. Like we would have dog races. That's sad.
No, I don't know.
No one ever won because the dogs would go find people. But hey,
What were the questions?
It was
This is
just
the
that one
one.
question.
What is
Yeah.
a deep culture? The Halley concept different.
And then I guess we can go, how do you apply to me
There was-
culture?
In my singles ward, there was a brother. His name's Jared K. Oh, he was definitely an interesting guy. But like even when you first met him, he would. The way that the bishop put it is, he will step into your personal bubble, and I'll sit there with you for a few minutes talking, and then I'll step back out of your personal bubble, and go on. Like even when he first meets you, he doesn't care. It's hilarious. At first, it freaks a lot of people out. But after a while, we all get used to it, and we're like, oh yeah, that's Jared. Yeah, he's fun. I mean, he's a crazy Marine, but whatever. So, you gotta get used to it sometimes.
I think the other thing, like, when this deep culture, I guess, attributes, like, shown for the first time to other people, it can be like a culture shock. And sometimes, it can change our perspective about them until, like, for a long time, then we get used to it, and then we come to understand, like, oh, this is the way they act, this is the way they behave. And that's when, like, it takes time to understand them when those deep culture shows.
Yeah.
I'm pulling out my notes from my other class.
Because the other thing, like, I've seen is, like, back in Ireland, in my home country, it's so disrespectful to, like, walk around while you're eating or drink. Like, when you have food, you have to sit down and then eat. But when I got here, like, it's normal thing.
Yeah.
So, like, to us, and it still feel weird to us, like, when we walk around and eat while not around with other students, but when we see, like, other Samoan people, like, older people, it's so disrespectful. Like, we feel like, oh, I shouldn't do that.
Sorry.
Yeah, like, it still feels weird to us. But now, like, we know that it's not, like, a culture thing over here. So it's fine when we, like, walking around with our friends, but when we see, like, other Samoan people, so.
Do you think that'll be hard for you when you go back home to try to cut out that habit?
I don't think so. Cause that's the what I was saying before. Like, cause back home, like, if you feel like, this is the way we live and this is the way we do things, like, everyone does the same thing. And when I move here for school, like, I look at it as like I'm the only one, like, and few other people like doing this. So I gotta, like, slip away and then adjust to another culture thing. But when I'm around with other Samoan, then I'll do what I was supposed to do.
Cool.
I think that's good about being here, like, at the school, is that the school, like, adapts to everyone's culture.
Yeah.
We're all, like, that's just how we are. So that's
Yeah.
kind of a good thing. So then you won't really lose your culture in a way. You're kind of just sharing your culture
Your
within
culture,
other
yeah.
people's culture, as well as, like, adapting to their culture and Hawaii's culture and everything like that. So that's true.
Sometimes it's not easy. I mean, I got here and I'm like, fun. But my roommate got here and he's like, what the heck is going on with these people? And it's just like, well, that's how they were raised. Kind of like how in Texas you were raised to love meat.
And that's Bob.
That's Bob.
That is Bob.
Bob right there.
Perfect.
Bob. Bobby.
Awesome.
There we go.
Anything else that we want to talk about, or?
I don't know.
I think we're pretty good.
There's only one question, so
I mean, we just took 15 minutes for one question. We could
nice.
we
Good
could
job.
take
Half an hour.